waiting for University of Nottingham B to choose their side.
Ready into this?
Like Radiant. Got teams there. Okay, then we are ready to go into the game, so we're going to head into the draft.
I've seen a lot of ours. Let's do it.
So, what are we expecting to see? What do you think is going to be our first pick? Come on, Cyclone. Put your game knowledge to the test. Of all the heroes.
Okay. I'm going to go by trends in the years that I've been watching Dota 2 and say Darkseer if he's not banned out.
Darkseer if he's not banned. Wow, that's a...
Well, Darkseer is always good, but...
Have you seen that as first ban?
He's certainly first pick, first ban material. A lot of teams are happy to let him through because Darkseer mostly just... He gives you an awful lot of team fight control. You got that surge to let people sprint away, get out of bad situations. Vacuum and wall is just instant game ender in a lot of fights. So Darkseer has always been incredibly popular to do this. He's also a fantastic offlane solo. You can also run him mid, so is a very varied hero, not too difficult to play. Has had I mean, if you've been watching the patch notes over the last several patches, that vacuum cooldown has gone from 16 up to 28, but he's still good, still relevant.
Okay, we are into the draft. My friend, I am going to have to ask you to check your in-game sound settings because it doesn't sound like you're coming through in-game.
No sweat on it now.
Dire team ban.
But we are into the draft. Generic Latin phrase taking on University of Nottingham B, and it's going to be University of Nottingham B with the first ban on the Radiant side. Both teams fully into the game using our brand new swag overlay. Oh, it's the other way around. Generic Latin phrase banning out the OD.
Oh, D mid. Okay. So they might be planning to run a Razor, perhaps?
No, they've banned out the OD, not picked it.
Oh, of course. Visage ban out. Visage always good. The birds just wrecking an awful lot of havoc. This doesn't speak too much now to their tactics so yet. We'll have to be waiting on that first pick. Can we hear me okay in game?
Can't quite check, but we'll just assume you can. People watching on the stream, do feel free to have a look in game, see if we can find this. See if you can hear a good Irish friend here. Now that OD ban, that tells me that generic Latin phrase, they're probably looking to run a more conventional mid. Something that would normally be strong, something like a Puck or a Quap. That relies on spells, but would be destroyed.
Might even see an Invoker.
Ooh, I would love to see an Invoker. He got an ever slight buff in the last match. Only slightly.
Ooh, I wouldn't call that slight. You get two spells at level 2, and you can get your Cold Snap and your Sunstrike, for example. There's that Lich ban that you were talking about, well called.
Yeah.
The EMP also now will drain half of the mana that it drains and give it to Invoker. So a buff to the Quas Wex Invoker there, a more teamfight control initiation based Invoker. Although the export Quas build has been more popular for a long time.
Obviously, this now means that generic Latin phrase are putting a lot of stock on their mid. I'm not sure who their mid player is, but they're obviously saying, right, we think our mid is our key to victory here. We need them to do well in their lane.
Might be looking for an aggressive ganking kind of game. Could possibly see, as you said, a Quap.
Puck is still amazingly aggressive.
Puck is a playmaker. I mean, if you can't get your Meepo, we might at least see a nice Puck who's good at hopping around. Ban out the Nature's Prophet there now, so it looks like University of Nottingham are looking to stop that rat dota and not worry too much about being split push. And it's a bounty hunter for the first pick.
So that could be put anywhere really. Usually sent to the off lane. But I mean, there's still an IO in the pool. There's still a Bat Rider in the pool. Both are still strong. I mean, Bat did get nerfed a little bit. I say a little bit, I mean a lot. But he's still strong. He's still a game changer. And of course, IO and University of Nottingham have got the first two have got the two counter picks here. They could happily pick something like IO and a strong stunning carry and be in a very good. Yeah, they could be in a very good position. I've played IO Chaos Knight before. It's disgusting.
It's not quite as bad now. Now, the whole reason that IO and CK took off was CK would cast Reality Rift and pull his victim in towards him, and CK would automatically appear on the opposite side.
Yeah.
So that would guarantee the Tether stun. But Tether is no longer a stun. It's now only a 100%. You can't attack and you can't move. But you can still cast spells. You can BKB. That means if you get snapped by that Tether, you do have a moment to activate your items to cast a spell. That actually was quite a nerf to IO, but he's still amazing. If you get good warding down, if you see people hopping around to their jungle or visiting their secret shop, you can just bomb on them and destroy them with that IO. And it is quite important to see that he hasn't been banned out so far.
However, the first pick coming from University of Nottingham, the Crystal Maiden, everybody's favourite Bluebird. Yes, that was a joke. Like it. And
Who doesn't like mana?
And
Venomancer.
we are in 6.79 meta here. Crystal
This is
Maiden,
it.
Venomancer, two heroes that wouldn't hit that often match. Both really, really strong heroes at the moment.
Definitely. Now CM and Venomancer were incredibly common, very popular supports about 2 years ago, but then we saw the rise of more popular ones. Visage, you got Visage, or Nature's Prophet has had his time in the spotlight for a long time. Disruptor, lots of supports that are just always seen. But now we've seen two heroes. CM hasn't really been touched in the last patch. She has been buffed slowly and slowly. Her ultimate has been buffed again and again. That Arcane Aura was doubled a few patches back for herself, so she's like always got a clarity going. And who doesn't love mana? Now the Venomancer has had crazy buffs in the last patch. His Gale is no longer quite so overpowered at level 1. It's still an amazing slow. It's still great for your first blood, but not too much damage. Now, rank 4 Gale, however, does a massive 550 damage total, as well as that passive Poison Sting now does, at rank 4, 300 damage over 15 seconds. And the wards will now also apply the Sting for half the damage with the full slow.
That is just because now you called the ganking mid. They've pulled out the Night Stalker. No, Night Stalker's usually played in a mid position, ganking. Obviously, they've banned out that OD Lich so that he's going to have at least a bit of a decent time. But now GLP looking to ban out maybe a couple of carries. They've got rid of the Life Stealer. They've got rid of the Juggernaut. And University of Nottingham, they've responded getting rid of the Rubik, who of course received the Invoker treatment with his Aghanim Scepter.
Certainly, that's a beautiful scepter. One thing to notice here now by GLP's bans, 2 magic immune heroes. Juggernaut with his spin and Lifestealer with his raid. So we might see some heavy nukes coming out later. We might see a Quap, though unlikely as they have picked Night Stalker, but we might be seeing some heavy nuke later on. Perhaps a Lion support or maybe a Lina.
Something with strong control, yeah. Something with strong magic control.
Definitely. Night Stalker as well has been buffed inadvertently by this patch. Now his Darkness ultimate did get a buff in that when he activates his ultimate, the enemy team's vision will shrink by 25%. You're looking around at 600 vision at nighttime. That is scary. That is half of experience range. That's like shorter than some heroes' attack range is your vision.
It's quite insane. You're literally running through the jungle with Darkness up, and you won't see somebody until you're right next to them. And we've seen a Slardar. Wow, University of Nottingham pulling out the picks today.
Now, I like the Slardar pick here, and Slardar is a nice counter to both of Generic Latin Phrases picks so far. You've got that armor break, Slardar's ulti to go through Bounty Hunter's invisibility, and Slardar has, unless he was nerfed in the last patch, has full 1800 night vision, that little light on his head. So that's also inadvertently a counter to the Night Stalker.
Looks like one of those. I've just noticed his character design is very similar to one of those fish that you find very, very low down.
In the trenches.
any marine biologists watching will know the fish I'm talking about. Please
Terrifying.
let me know. Tweet me at tweets by JT.
Stuff.
Now we've got Gyrocopter coming out as the third pick for GLP. Probably a carry gyro, so they're not really showing what they're doing with their support yet.
On a Razor pick now, just as quick update there, dude, about Slardar's night vision. He was nerfed down to the 800 night vision, so Slardar doesn't actually have that edge over the Night Stalker. Now, whether or not University of Nottingham know that, we'll have to see, but we've seen some picks now here. Probably going to see this Naga Siren now. Gyro or Naga, either could be a support, either could be a carry. It is more common for the Naga to be the support. Just use her net, use the sleep.
I still think we're going to see maybe a second support for that tri-lane. It'll be
5
Gyrocopter, Naga, and some
seconds.
of the Stunner in the tri-lane, and they can run that aggressive or defensive if they want, because that is a lot of kill potential. And quite rightly, not University of Nottingham ban out the
Team
Bane
ban.
there, which would be an excellent setup for the Naga net, and then the Gyro to just have fun and kill
Definitely.
everybody. But the Razor, very strong fourth pick there. I mean, there's a lot of physical damage, isn't there?
There is. You sap that Gyro, his flat cannon's not going to be doing too much. Now, also, we're also seeing a lot of stuns and slows as well now for the Radiant team. You've got the Venomancer Gale, the CM Frostbite, that and the Slardar stun. There's an awful lot of first blood potential on the Radiant team. Depending on, we're probably going to be seeing a Razor mid with a Slardar, possibly if they're doing a tri-line, alongside a Veno and a CM, unless they're going to do something very crazy and put Veno mid. But we're likely looking at a tri-lane of Slardar, Veno, and Crystal Maiden. That's a hell of a lot of control and dangerous abilities at level 1.
However, is
10
Slardar really a
seconds to
tri-lane carry, or are they maybe still looking for that
5
strong right clicker? Because
seconds.
Slardar is very good in the off lane. He's got that sprint, got that natural ability to get away, and he's a
Reserve
bit
time.
tanky. He can get away with a lot.
He can. Now, Slard can actually be played mid or even in a farmed carry role because he does have that bash. He can benefit greatly from getting a lot of attack speed up to try and permabash people. He's also a very good initiator. So one way or another, they're going to be wanting the Slardar to get a blink. And there's our hard carry.
Dyer's
Yep,
pick.
a Luna very strong hard. Now that glaive can bounce to the same target multiple times, very strong in tightly packed team fights as well. Her glaives are going to be doing a hell of a lot of damage. What are we looking? We're probably looking to see that second support out from GLP here. What do you think?
I'm thinking a line, possibly Alina. Something to set up the
10
Gyro. They need a
seconds
hard
to
stun.
go.
They've no
Yeah.
proper hard stun. They've got a nice silence from the Night Stalker and a stun, a mini stun from that. Bounty Hunter, it might pick up perhaps an Orchid. He's got a slow on his Janata. Gyro stun is negligible, honestly. The delay is very long. The damage is decent, but it's not reliable. The only real reliable form of crowd control that they have currently is the Naga net. But that does go through BKBs, which is often quite necessary for the hard carries of the Radiant team. But they're going to need something else to compensate that. They're lacking in any kind of area of effect control. Something of possibly Nyx has been taken out, so perhaps a Lina or a Lion is what I'm going to put my money on.
How about a Vengeful Spirit? Not seen a lot of her as a support recently, but I still think she's got a lot of potential as a strong support, especially with the Naga Siren. It makes the positioning just that little bit stronger. The Siren can pop the song, and you can effectively swap someone into the song.
Definitely. The Vengeful Spirit would go well with the Naga. That's an awful lot of control. You can save someone with the swap. You can set up the fight with the sleep. And it's a Leshrac. So there we go. Now, not quite a reliable stun, but a good setup with the net. Net into
Yeah.
Leshrac stun. And that's a good bit of pushing power. It nicely rounds off their... They've got a lot of team fight with the Gyro and the Naga. They've got a good bit of ganking with the Night Stalker and the Bounty. And now we've also rounded it off with some nice push with that Leshrac Edict.
And like you say, that early kill potential as well. Net into Leshrac stun, into Gyro stun. That's a dead hero. Unless they deal with that, that is a dead hero very early.
Certainly. So, okay, let's go through the teams. Do you want to take the Dire and I'll run through the Radiant?
Yep, on the Dire side, we have generic Latin phrase as we get an early port and B. So it's going to be Dime Z, as he's told me it is pronounced. I hope I pronounced that right, Dime Z. He's going to be playing that Bounty Hunter. Hecadoom on the Naga Siren. Reisenberg, fantastic name, is going to be playing that Gyrocopter. Valerono on the Night Stalker, and H-Bomb going to be playing that Leshrac.
Beautiful. Meanwhile, over in the Radiant time, we've got the University of Nottingham B. We've got their Captain Diablo on the support Venomancer. He's already picked up some wards, so he's not going mid. We've got their hard carry is something Mia TY, something meaty on the Luna. On the Razor, we've got Civilian. Meanwhile, on the Crystal Maiden, we've got Mr. Swar. And then we've got the stand-in Bear Dealer on the Slardar. Now, I'm thinking perhaps they don't want to be putting too much pressure on the Slardar as a stand-in. If they're not used to playing with this person, they don't want to put him in too crucial a role, typically, is what you're going to see.
Yeah.
So we might just want to see him. I'm still not sure who's going off lane. Honestly, I might be thinking it's a coin flip for me between the Slardar and the Razor. Slardar does have the nice sprint to get away in a bit of trouble, but that sprint does make him take extra damage. Meanwhile, the Razor has full range, and he has that beautiful purge that whenever you cast an ability on him, you're going to get slowed, and any buffs on you are going to be removed. So I'm honestly feeling perhaps that the Razor might be going to the offlane, because they don't have any obvious offlane heroes here.
Well, we are back into the game. Both teams taking a little bit of time to get out of the blocks. Nobody really making any major moves. I know a lot of teams have a lot of fun. Team I play with, we always like to smoke up and go straight into the enemy jungle just for the fun. It looks like GLP are going to be sending an aggressive tri-lane with the Leshrac, Naga and the Gyrocopter, leaving the Bounty in the solo safe lane, the Nightstalker mid. And looking on the side of UOMB, they're going to be going a defensive tri-lane, so we're going to see a lot of early action. Tri-lane versus tri-lane.
I'm not so sure now, but yeah, we're seeing Venomancer and Slardar going up here towards his top lane. Now, Slardar might just be watching Venomancer's back as he goes to plant some wards, but as the Dire team send that tri-lane down to the bottom, they're expecting Bounty to have perhaps to be Bounty against a single offlaner who they might also be thinking was Slardar up on that top lane. So we'll have to wait and see how that plays out, because currently we're going to see some warding. They might not have these lanes completely set up, at least for the Radiant team.
Dire team, they're sat ready in the jungle. They've got the ward up. They're looking to be very aggressive, but I think we might... You mentioned earlier dual lanes might be more of a thing here, and now we've got the option of that Veno, Vardar dual lane, the old Luna Maiden dual. How's this dual lane going to manage against my lane?
Double damage.
That will be a thing.
Definitely. Now we're seeing the Luna with CM going down bottom. Meanwhile, Slardar is staying up on top with Venomancer, so that is going to be a dual lane. Venomancer is going to be watching Slardar's back as he farms. Now at the mid, we've got the matchup of Nightstalker versus Razor. How do you think this is going to go?
I think this will be in favour of Razor until the first night. I'd be more worried if I was Bounty Hunter at the moment. He's up against something of True Sight as well as a DD Venomancer. He's going to get zoned out.
Venomancer doing a good job now so far of letting Slardar pick up those last hits, keeping Bounty Hunter way back. Now they haven't actually come to this. Go for it.
We might have action bottom lane. Nope. It looked like Naga and Leshrac, H-Bomb and Hecadoom were running forward, possibly to try and get an early net and stun out on somebody. Obviously, with 2 stuns against them, they've got the Lunar Lucent Beam as well as the Crystal Maiden Freeze. They've got a good bit of counter initiation.
They've got to play it a bit careful now, because the one that's picking up the last hits here, the Luna, is only mid-range. She hasn't got that full 600 attack range, so it is 2 versus 3 also, and that's a dangerous lane. If Luna gets a bit too forwards, gets netted, gets stunned, gets rocket stunned, that's bad news for her. Now up top, Bounty Hunter is actually going to have an easy enough time. He came to the lane himself with sentry wards to counter ward, but it looks like University of Nottingham hasn't brought up any detection for that Bounty Hunter, so he's going to have no trouble getting his experience.
Or at least until Slardar hits level 6 and the Amplify comes out. Meanwhile, the aggression's still piling up there. Slardar's hitting 8 and 5 on the CS. Meanwhile, Nightstalker is pulling ahead of the Razor ever so slightly. Yes, and putting out a lot of aggression on him as well. Obviously, no early bottle crowing until sort of the 3rd minute.
Mid lane, nice and fair between the Nightstalker and the Razor, both at 6 last hits. Meanwhile, Slardar, would you know it, is actually the top farmer currently.
And that's to be expected. He's against a solo lane. He's got a Veno supporting him. He should be able to get pretty much every last hit, short of a bit of lane control going awry. Not a lot of action early on. 5 minutes into the game. No real kills. Razor looking to pick up that rune from the nose of the Nightstalker. That's
good play by Razor.
It's going to leave.
Definitely.
It is going to leave the Nightstalker to free farm a little bit. And
ideally, Nightstalker's also got his bottle very fast, so that's less regen going towards Nightstalker. Now we're going to have to keep an eye on that tri lane down on the bottom lane, because that could turn very violent very fast with those abilities. As we get a few levels up now as well, we see Naga hitting level 2. Once she hits level 3, she might be looking to unleash that Riptide nuke. And we've even got a bit of a hook around here. Naga trying to get behind the tower.
The Leshrac in tow as well. Just leaving the Gyro, who's having a good time farming. He's 12 and 4 in an aggressive tri lane. That's very good. Obviously, he's not getting the levels he should be.
But they don't need to.
There.
They're crushing the Luna. Luna's only got 4 last hits. She is not getting the farm that she needs. So currently, it's looking better for Dire just right off the bat. Bounty Hunter has an easy lane with no detection. The tri-lane is very safely covering the back of Gyro as he farms and denying that Luna what she needs. And Night Stalker's faring up quite well against Razor in mid.
Really is, and it's interesting to see because I was considering thinking maybe the dual lane will do well. I mean, obviously Sladar's doing fantastically. He's the top farmer in the game still. Looks like they've got detection up now on the University of Nottingham's side.
Stun attempt by the Shrek on the bottom lane, unfortunately just a little bit off center. Couple of seconds cooldown, we'll have them ready to try again. That could erupt at any time. Nighttime has now come here. We've got Night Stalker is sitting at level 5, very nice, level 3 Void, and he has opted to pick up that 1 rank of Crippling Fear instead of the second Hunter in the Night, so he does have that silence.
And he's got his boots and bottle now. You can expect to see him rotating, possibly up top here. That Veno's looking a little bit tasty. Nice wraparound there would go well. Got a wraparound coming around on the bottom, and the Shrek and Naga are really trying to threaten this, but Crystal Maiden Luna, Warren something meaty there, are hugging their towers, something terrible.
Oh, yes.
And you know what? I think that's what they need to do. They're going to have the level advantage as long as they stay within XP range.
Certainly. Now, it looks like perhaps that the Radiant team are sick of these antics down because they're sending the Venomancer to rotate, currently walking through mid, probably going to go all the way down to the bottom and try and pull this tri-lane back into the favour of the Radiant. This leaves Slardar up solo against the Bounty Hunter, which frankly is in the favour of Slardar, gives him all the experience. He's not got to worry about the Bounty Hunter killing him. Meanwhile...
And we see the first, and there's that dive from the Night Stalker, and that's the last thing that UOMB want to give away is a first blood to a Night Stalker, because this is just the start of the snowballing. Now,
so that's Night Hunter sitting level 6, and yet...
Flat Cannon coming out on the Crystal Maiden. Crystal Maiden's going down, she's very low. Meanwhile, the Shrek stun comes out, the Shrek's low. Venomancer's low. Crystal Maiden's going to go down to the Gyrocopter. Venomancer, he's in danger, but a Lucent Beam comes out from the Luna, just saves him, but that's a double kill for Kreisenberg there. And that's 3-0 now in the way of GLP, and just in the space of a minute they've gone from rather even in the game to starting to take a lead. And if they can keep this up, they can keep on the pressure with the Night Stalker, with the Bounty Hunter, well, and also with the Gyrocopter, who's now just got a double kill. So he's got his Aquila, he's going to have his phase boots very, very soon at 6 minutes in. Things aren't looking too good early on. Now they can definitely pull this back. Obviously there's no towers down. They've rotated around to deal with that tri-lane, and Sladar's going to hit level 6 soon. He'll be able to deal with the Bounty Hunter.
They need this Slardar to hit 6 and it gets somewhere. Slardar's got to keep a TP in his bags in case there's any more action that's going to happen down on here on this bottom lane. He needs to arrive and show this Gyro who is boss. Meanwhile, Veno back up to the top with the Slardar.
I think it was just a rotation for a gank, really. Didn't go well. He died, Crystal Maiden died, and nobody from the other team died. So, not the best gank. Night Stalker's got that DD, that's going to be dangerous. Obviously, they've spotted this out, but the Dire team...
Getting very aggressive here, pushing this tower down. That tower's going down quite fast. It is in deny range. We might see a deny attempt. They should be able to deny it right now. They are going to do it. The tower's going to go down. So that is actually quite a middle finger to the Dire team at the moment, that only giving them half. Meanwhile, Night Stalker takes care of Razor in mid.
And all this fun on bottom lane, and we're missing all the kills, and this Night Stalker's just hammering on the Razor. Razor's not having a good time with this at all. 2 kills to the Night Stalker. First night's going to be ending soon, but he's already where he wants to be. He's got a couple of kills. He's got the levels. Bounty Hunter's hit level 7, so Track's now up.
Mid. Kill attempt on the Luna. Razor comes in to take it back, and there's the first blood for the Radiant team as Razor comes in to punch that Night Stalker for getting too cocky.
Okay, but meanwhile, Gyrocopter's just going to take the opportunity to really free farm, and we've started to see some creep cut and pulls from the Naga and the Lashrak to get themselves a little bit of extra XP. Naga's got a smoke here, just waiting possibly for a rotation round.
Might wrap around middle in towards the Razor perhaps.
Yeah.
Now, Radiant has completely abandoned the bottom lane. It's completely under control now. Once that tower fell, they all abandoned it. We're actually seeing 3 heroes from UNOB up top at the minute. They might be looking to get this bounty hunter and
They've got-
Slater.
Well, they've
Not
got
6 just yet.
not 6 just yet, but they do have the sentry ward up on the Venomancer, so they've got a way for detection. But the creep wave's pushing forward, and bounty hunter's just going to be. Oh no, they've got everyone up here.
This
Everyone's
bounty
coming.
hunter,
Raises
he's got to
invisibility
feel
rune
it.
in.
He's got to feel the alien breathing down on the back of his neck.
It doesn't seem like anybody from GLP have noticed that everyone's missing yet. Bounty hunter's just happily sitting in there, and there's no aggression here. They're just waiting for their
That
time.
might change now. There's a 6 on Slater.
Luna's going to TP away. Amplify magic already up. But Gyro's going to pop in. He's got his phase boots. He's ready to look for some counter aggression there. Meanwhile, mid. Ray's going to pop the ultimate. Not going to hit much. Bounty Hunter's going to come in. See if he can mop
He'll
up.
be safe.
They feel nip back. But will he? Naga and Lashrak are waiting there. Waiting for that wraparound. The moment that Razor gets a little bit too far forward, they're going to move right in. Go for a hit.
This is it.
Yeah, we're going to see the net come out, possibly into the Lashrak stun. Possibly wasn't even necessary, but that was a very easy kill there. And
that was a track kill.
that was a track kill as well, and they've got a very snowbally lineup here, GLP, with the fallback of a Gyro who can always farm heavily. And you've got to really question what University of Nottingham B were doing with their 5 up top. They didn't really get anything done with it, and it wasn't as if they were facing a lot of aggression or counter-aggression. Just more...
They got tired of the bottom lane. They said, we want to get a kill. They went up top, and Bounty Hunter, unfortunately, just TP'd away. They could have dived that. Certainly with the Slatter tanking it up, they could have dived that level 1 tower, but they didn't get it done quick enough, and Bounty just TP'd away.
We're looking at a 3k golden experience lead here, the GLP. They're looking to move around, they're rotating around here. Night Stalker popping out the darkness. They've got 3 coming in, they've got somebody
You got a hasted
around.
Night Stalker up top.
That's going to be a very dead Slardar. The Shrek stun doesn't quite hit the Crystal Maiden, but it's fine. They killed the Slardar, they've killed their better farmer, and now they're just going to look to push this tower. And they're not really going to be able to, they're not really going to be stopped.
Now you've got Bounty Hunter waiting underneath the Crystal Maiden and the Venomancer. Now night time ends.
Here
comes the dive.
Money. Okay, here comes the dive. Net comes out, the Shrek stun hits the Crystal Maiden. Gyro's
Eaten alive.
And just too much damage. And this is going to be an easy tier 1 tower. It's 8-1 here to generic Latin phrase. The boys from Derby are really hammering it their East Midlands. Taking a very commanding early game lead. Razor's going to look to maybe try and see if he can counter push the tower. He's not going to manage to.
Now we got to notice that there's very little wards up currently for University of Nottingham. Part of this problem is they've only got 1 ward watching that bottom rune. Meanwhile, you've got a Night Stalker level 9 running around killing people, eating up these level 6 Crystal Maiden, level 6 Luna. They are absolute food to the Night Stalker.
Another tower denial. And you know what? I haven't seen a tower go down to the enemy team yet. Is this going to be the way for the game? Can you even deny an ancient? Or are we just going to every single...
It's hard to say. It's hard to say now. They need to stop this Night Stalker from just balling out of control. He's nearly level 11. He's got max ranks in Hunter of the Night. He's got his phase boost. Looks like he's going to be building towards an armlet with that Blades of Attack as his inventory. Mid lane now, we see Bounty Hunter hooking around behind this Crystal Maiden. If Night Stalker dives this, she is going to just absolutely melt. And here we go.
Oh, he's got himself within tower range, but the track comes out on the Crystal Maiden. Dead in a matter of seconds. Out comes the Slardar with the Amplify onto the Bounty Hunter, giving them vision. But there's just too many there, and Slardar, he's running to the Lashrak stun, misses. Gets the stun out, but back comes the Night Stalker. Fix comes out from Luna. Doesn't quite hit.
Too little, too late. Too little, too late, unfortunately. As the chase goes on, if they were there just a few seconds earlier, that could have gone very differently.
Face down now. The Amplify. 2 tracks out though. Yeah, everyone. Fine, the Shrek fell to Razor there, but it was kind of a Pyrrhic victory. It's 9-2. However, they are going to take this mid tower, getting the Venomancer wards down.
Their team beaten back, but not quite done just yet. The call down comes down. They're looking to defend this. They don't have the manpower to do it, but they will be able to hold it off and get the deny.
Shraxton manages to hit the Venom. Big Gale comes out. H-bomb goes down. Razor doing a lot of damage and a lot.
Beautiful
wow,
stone by the Slardar.
And they're actually bringing this back. They've isolated the Night Stalker. They've turned this around. They've got 4 kills.
Very
and
nice.
They've pulled it back. They've taken down the mid tower as well. And this is a momentum. If they can hold on to this, they can make something. Bounty
They could very well do. What they need to do right now is start putting down wards, get vision on the map, make sure that now that they might have kind of equalized it so far, hold that down and give Runa space to farm. Put down wards so Luna can just sit in the bottom lane and farm up some nice items.
You can't afford to give away easy kills. Vladar is tracked up, he's being chased down. They're probably not going to reach him though, he's got a sprint, he's a slippery one. Not just because he's a fish. Hey!
Slardar should be okay. He does pop the sprint to get back now. Now we are looking at University of Nottingham. We're looking to defend that mid, but it seems that as Slardar kind of dangled Naga and Bounty Hunter along with.
Caught out the Leshrac. He's been hit by the stun though. Huge amounts of damage. 140 damage in favour of the Razor. He's just going to back off. He sees the gyrocopter.
Good choice by Razor. He would have melted there. The Night Stalker was waiting on top of the stairs, and as well as that call down, that was good patience by Razor right there.
Having a look at the golden XP graphs, and gold, it's still in favour of the Dire. It will be. They've got a Bounty Hunter. But University of Nottingham have clawed back on the XP. There's now only about 300 in it between the two teams.
Crystal Maiden goes down near the Radiant Ancient, soloed by Bounty Hunter. Razor comes in. Razor getting surrounded.
He gets around him. Venomancer, is he going to be able to get away? He's probably not. Night Stalker, it's the middle of the night. This is when he's just going to chase down relentlessly and get another kill.
Vicious. Seen a lot of creeps now pushing down on Radiant's top tower.
That's 4 kills to both the Night Stalker and the Bounty Hunter.
And another. Luna goes down trying to save the Venomancer. Too little too late. Went in one by one into the meat grinder.
They're giving away these easy kills, and now GLP... they've got their lead back, they're getting the track kills, they're pulling even further ahead on gold, and more importantly, that Night Stalker and Bounty Hunter picking up lots of kills. Gyro, he's getting close to his BKB, he's about 600 gold away from that, 550.
That situation now.
We haven't even seen a song yet.
We haven't even seen a song. We're looking at, though, if you check out the net worth, top 3 are all Dire. Bounty Hunter, Night Stalker and Gyro all sitting very nicely on a 6k worth. Next in line is the Slardar, only at 4.7. The Luna is barely above. She's the least of all 3 cores on the Radiant side. She's going to have a very hard time coming back. They need what is looking like a miracle.
GLP,
meanwhile, Venomancer...
catch out the Venomancer, lurking in the jungle there. He manages to get the Gale off, but it does practically nothing. And
this is just the level difference. Yeah, this is a level 6 Venomancer.
Aggressive war going on there, and they're still sat in the enemy's jungle. They're keeping up the aggression. They can afford to line up that guy on having tons of mana. They're going to TP away. I think they've seen the Luna.
Looks like now in the meantime that GLP are looking to push the bottom lane.
You've got Luna hit by the crippling fury. Is she going to manage to TP away? Shuriken toss comes out, doesn't quite hit before the TP.
Skin of her neck.
Shuriken is actually flying towards. Is it going to hit? Let's track it. Shuriken cam. And it misses. But hey. There you go. Anti-climax
we're seeing
there.
Very good tactical awareness here now by GLP. They've got those beautiful aggressive wards. We see a ward on the Radiant Ancients, on the bottom ward, on the bottom rune as well as in the middle of the Radiant jungle. Radiant do have some nice defensive wards up. They've got one of their jungle to try and see where the enemy team are if they're taking farm out of the jungle, and they've got a sentry in the middle lane. But it is just the lanes are pushed in the favour of the Dire. Certainly the bottom is. They're looking to capitalise on that. We see all 5 heroes from the University of Nottingham going down bottom just as night time comes around. And Night Stalker is hungry. He's finished his armlet.
Pops the darkness and vision reduced. And that's the vision reduced even on the wards as well. They're really trying to exert superior map control here. And they have. They've got University of Nottingham pinned into this sort of area here.
Bottom lane Bounty Courier.
Radiant's courier has been callously murdered.
Oh dear. Now that was not something you want to give away. Meanwhile, Bounty's going to wrap around, and they're looking to wrap around. They're going to catch out the Venomancer. Eclipse comes out, and there's the song to counter the Eclipse. They're just going to surround.
Beautiful.
Veno. The Shrek stun a little early, doesn't quite hit out of song. They're going to take out the Venom. Meanwhile, Luna, see if she can clean up. Razor
They need to
comes
stand
out.
and
A
fight.
lot of
They can do
damage.
this. Very nice.
You know what, that Razor's pulling out a lot of damage, but he gets taken down needlessly by Night Stalker. Night Stalker's down though. That was a
Right,
bit of
so-
a bloodbath. It was a trade of 4. Not really well in the favour of GLP there.
Certainly not. That was another good fight for University of Nottingham. They were in a bad situation there. That fight started off terribly. Bounty Hunter one-shot Janada-ing that courier to death, followed by Luna and Razor were very far forwards. They had the enemy players completely surrounding them, leading to that Razor. The Venomancer got picked off immediately just by the pure level difference of a high-level Night Stalker. Demolished the Venomancer, but before he dies, he gets off the Gale. He gets off the Poison Nova. So that did really turn around the fight in. Razor went down, but University of Nottingham were able to coordinate and get those kills because during the fight it got hectic, GLP got scattered and they found themselves all of a sudden surrounded themselves. So good fight now. We do see the Luna finally getting to pick up some kills, picking up some items. She looks like she's working towards a BKB. BKB, that's about 1,000 gold away, but she has, most importantly, picked up some levels. Now we see that the level difference is mostly actually in favour of the University of Nottingham on the Radiant side. Night Stalker leads the charge at 13, but behind him are 3 level 11 Radiant heroes, all of them core. So
I mean,
we might be seeing this turn around here.
Even then, you look at the XP, it's about 1.8k in favour of GLP, and the gold hugely in favour. You're looking at about 7.5k, so 6k in favour, and it's still reflected in those top 3, the 3 cores there. Both teams going for quite a tri-core lineup, very greedy lineup. Obviously, it can be fed quite well for GLP because they've got that Night Stalker, they've got those track kills. But they can come out of these, 2 for 2, 3 for 2 trades and still be on top if they're a little, maybe one behind.
Certainly. Now, what do you think about the possibilities of us maybe seeing a Roche at some point? The map is mostly contested. We might see a fight break out here in middle.
Yeah,
very soon.
Both teams just posturing for it. Neither one really wanting to go in. I mean, if we're going to see anyone go in, it'll be a Song initiation. But it looks like GLP are just being driven back here. They don't want to fight this. And meanwhile, Night Stalker's just going to lurk the jungle. And they've seen him and they're coming for him. But he's going to TP out. He knows. He knows far too well. And meanwhile, Venomancer's going to get caught out. Just a little too slow getting away. Tracked up. He's being chased by Bounty Hunter. The dust comes out. Not really useful because that is a very dead Venom. Meanwhile, Kristen Caden's going to come back in.
Oh no, she came in alone.
Came in alone. However, Luna and Razor. Here comes the cavalry. And Dime Z. He's in a very bad position. Great Leshraxton comes out there, but Vardar too quick to takes out Dime. 1 for 1 at the moment.
Eclipse.
Luna's rushing with the Eclipse. BKB comes out from the gyrocopter, but he's taking a lot of damage from the Svardar. Svardar gets a double kill. Svardar goes down himself. It's 2 for 2 here. And that was a bit of a
Two
bloodbath.
core. That was, and we might see this Razor be picked off. Purge won't help him that much.
However, is Benno going to get some revenge then? Nice range of the tower. He's running away. And that Venno died very quickly, and suddenly that's gone very in the favour. Venno shouldn't have gone in there.
Yeah.
That's now gone in the favour of. It would have been quite a fair trade fight. I didn't crack kills out. Now Night Stalker out on a Helm of the Dominator. He's got his arm.
He's going to start to be able to just overpower things. He's just going to right-click people to death. And now that he's got extra armor and lifesteal, along with the buff from the armlet, he's going to be incredibly hard to take out. And he picks up a regen rune. Now that fight right there, decisions. Some decisions were made. Now, the Venomancer porting in to save the Razor. Unfortunately, it was too little too late. He got in there too late, and he ended up arriving just in time to get eaten himself, just as Razor died. Prior to that, though, however, we did see a nice response by the Radiant team. The Radiant team were chasing down the gyrocopter, or pardon me, the Night Stalker, who was porting out of their jungle. This turned into the fight around at the steps near the bottom ruin. We did see an early death from the Slardar. Luna's Eclipse was a good choice, but it was too late. She ended up dying right as it began. Had that gone off a few seconds earlier, we could have seen that go a different way. Meanwhile, top lane.
Top lane. Luna's going to get taken down.
Taken down.
Meanwhile, Naga and Leshrac are smoked up here on bottom lane. They're not going to find anyone. and the response is going to come in from UON, and they're charging forward. That Slardar Venno. GLP are too fast. They've got a Bounty Hunter and a Night Stalker running away. You won't see them.
We are starting to see this Night Stalker start to kind of fall off here. There does come a point where if University of Nottingham supports get the levels, get the health that they need to survive that Night Stalker burst until help can arrive, we will see the Night Stalker definitely start to fall off, and they will be relying on the gyrocopter. Now, top lane, we've got a disconnect. Unfortunately, Crystal Maiden is disconnected from University of Nottingham, so we will have a pause. So what's the situation that we're looking at in currently?
Well, let's have a look. It's 23 minutes into the game, 22 kills to 13 in favour of GLP. They've got tower advantage is firmly in GLP. They've got this bottom tower here, which means they've got a huge Roche advantage. They can always TP into the mid lane. They can always TP to that tower. Having a look at the farm, Night Stalker pulling far ahead. He's 2k ahead of Bear Dealer there on that Slardar. Gyrocopter, he's not picked up his first damage. He's got a BKB, he's got phase boots. It looks like he's going straight into Helm of the Dominator. Not picking up any damage items. That's fine, because most of their damage is coming out from the Bounty Hunter and the Night Stalker anyway. So he can just stand there in fights, last a bit, pop some cooldowns, pop some stuns, do some flat cannons.
Indecisive. Now we are seeing all 5 heroes from University of Nottingham up here on the top lane looking to correct that lack of tower kills that you've pointed out. Now while we're seeing this, we are seeing that GLP is mostly scattered. They're just farming up, getting their support, some gold, some levels. Now we do see Gyrocopter's pushing down the bottom lane. The only person that can TP to the top to defend that top tower is the Naga Siren in the middle. If not, you've just got the Bounty Hunter and the Night Stalker, who I'm not sure can quite hold off all 5 members of the University of Nottingham. So we'll see how that plays off in the next few seconds.
It looks like they're going to try. They've spotted the Night Stalker. I don't know if they've spotted the Bounty Hunter, though. They're just trying to lead them away. Track comes out on the Slardar. Really trying to just say, hey, look at me, don't look at the tower, look at me, don't look at the tower. But Razor's just going to stand there with the Plague Wards, and that's going to be a free tower coming down. However, the distraction might have lasted long enough, because GLP are coming in. Luna's looking to solo the Gyrocopter. They're rolling back in. Slardar misses the stun, and GLP are just going to wisely retreat there, even though there's probably enough of them to take this. They're just going to say, no, that's fine, we'll pick our fights.
That's good. Now that's in the favour of University of Nottingham. They get that tower kill, they get gold, that's gold, into the pocket of CM, into the pocket of Venomancer, get them to beef up, maybe with some treads, get a bit of extra health so they can survive the Night Stalker for the first few seconds until CM comes in with the stun, the frostbite, and plays like that. Now, meanwhile, we do see University of Nottingham all rotating towards mid. They might find Night Stalker, Bounty Hunter, if they're lucky, but Bounty Hunter backs away, and we're going to see another team fight break out here quite soon.
Yeah, the Shraxton comes in, hits the Razor, the net comes out. They're probably not going to be able to kill the Razor unless they get some support in soon. And Razor popping the ult, and the Siren Song comes right out, but that Razor ult still doing damage throughout. He's going to TP away, and they're going to... Night Stalker Band's going to turn around and take out the Razor. Cooldown comes out. Gyrocopter is BKB'd up. He's taking a lot of damage from that Slardar, though. Slardar just doesn't care about the BKB. Out comes the Eclipse. Doesn't last for too long. He's killed very quickly by that Night Stalker Gyro. Is the Venom going to die? Is it going to be a full team wipe? Missiles coming out, but they're not going to chase it. That was a raid in favour. And that team fight
devastating.
Just did not go.
Definitely not. Now, that right there, man of the match for that one team fight was the Naga Siren, just holding that sleep right when the fight started to turn bad, put on the song, TP, get out safely, and during the song, that gave the rest of GLP time to get into the center and resume to a battered Razor, who otherwise could have run away from 2-3 heroes and survived, but by the time the song ended, that wasn't the case.
And it was a very nice song, and she used it almost as a counter initiate. If you catch my drift there, the Leshraxton was the initiate. They rolled back in with the Razor, with the ultimate and the static and the plasma field. Sorry, but then Naga Siren popped that song and just held them long enough. Like you say, held them just long enough, and it looks like GLP may be looking to Roche now. got wards up and around it. They've got the map control for it. All of University of Nottingham B are down bottom. Seen a lot of big team fights. GLP still a little bit in front, but it's definitely not out of reach of anyone. Nightstalker very far forward there. Meanwhile, the wraparound coming from the Mega Siren and the Lestrat.
Might get a fight breaking out here in this jungle. No, they're both being very cautious. It is going to be 5-on-5 now. The Bounty Hunter is behind. We're probably going to see him, if a fight breaks out, he's just going to solo one of the supports. And a well-timed sentry ward.
And the Shraxton and the cooldown miss. Very well baited out. Very patient play from University of Nottingham. Bounty Hunter's positioning has been fantastic. He's always been behind the enemy team in the fights, and he's always been just close enough.
Cut off that retreat and kill a support while you're doing it. Bounty Hunter is on the ball today now. Meanwhile, GLP have backed off, so they're not going to get that tier 2 tower that they're looking for on bottom. We're after wait and see. They're going to hang around to defend the tier 1, not go for a Roche. Now, depending on how this fight goes, we might see either team try and pick up the Roche depending on what the kill score is afterwards. Because if this tower stands and our team kill the enemy team, it's a good time to go for a Roche. If it goes down, that's the reverse for Radiant.
Right, looks like they're pushing for this tower. Lestrat's going to pop up out the Edict, get a stun off, but it doesn't hit anyone. They're going to take this tower for free. Naganet comes out, but there's not enough people there to defend. Out comes the Darkness. Bounty Hunter comes in, as does the Gyro. They're going to counter-initiate now. They're going hard on that Slardar. The song comes out right when the cooldown hits. Oh dear, that didn't go well. Dimes E's going to go down. Kreisenberg's going to die very quickly to that CM ult, as is Hekadu. Wow,
Fantastic.
That's gone very badly.
Fantastic fight.
Just limping away.
Brilliant fight for the University of Nottingham. Unfortunately, a very poorly timed song absolutely demolished the tempo that they had going. They were going to roll over University of Nottingham until that song came out and just completely interrupted what everyone was doing. Slardar, we're starting to see Slardar now finally start going to town on the Gyro in that BKB. The bash will go through the BKB. He's got an armlet, so that made the difference right there. Absolutely nullified it.
He's a very strong hero against that BKB of the Gyro, and Gyro really hasn't gone anything damage-wise. Got his helm, got his BKB, he's not got anything, hasn't even got a Shadow Blade.
Yeah, gone defensive now. We've given the Roche a second thought now by University of Nottingham. They backed away when they realised that they just can't tank it. Now, that fight on the bottom lane, that broke out very poorly, and part of it is because of the lack of reliable stuns to University of Nottingham. If they had a line or a lean it, they could have hit someone with the spikes and guarantee the follow-up by the Slardar Crush. But that didn't happen, so the fight began on the terms of Radiant Agents. We see Bounty Hunter being jumped on. He went for the Venomancer, and in comes Hero Slardar to save the day.
Apologies to those watching on the stream. My Dota 2 network's gone down, and I can't actually get back into the game. For some reason it popped out of the game, and I can't get back in. I'm going to quickly reboot Dota. Get into that. Cyclone, paint us a word picture. What's going on?
Oh, well, we've got to see the entire University of Nottingham team currently pushing out mid. We're not going to see any team fight breaking out just soon. We're mostly looking at GLP on the dark side, farming up their jungle. So it looks like everyone just wants to take a break and do a bit of farming after these hectic team fights. So should have a bit of time for you to get back in.
Oh, fantastic.
Meanwhile, fantastic. Yeah, now, again, just seeing folks farming around. We are seeing some item pickups lately. We've got... Looks like Naga is going for a hood. She's picked up the headdress so far. Nightstalker seems to be going for a BKB of his own. Gyro just farming up the jungle. He so far got just a helm, an Aquila, and his BKB. So he needs to pick up some damage now because we are starting to see the Radiant team start to survive these team fights. So Gyro really needs to pick up maybe an MKB, possibly a Daedalus, because he needs to be chopping down those Radiant supports before they do their thing.
Okay, we're back into the game. Apologies to those viewing on the stream there. I don't know what happened there. It looks like I've come just at the right time. GLP looking to really push down on this bottom tower. Now they've got the initiation. If they come in with a good song initiation, they can get the Leshrac done. They can get the cooldown ready and gone. And you know what? University of Nottingham, they're grouping up. They're almost inviting it. The Leshrac done comes out just to clear a wave, and they're just going to keep posturing up. And we're just looking for that really big Naga Song initiate. If they can get that off, and, you know, take out the Slardar, take out the Luna before anything, then they can just turn on the Razor. And
Radiant team have got some good turtling abilities, so they've got the Plasma Field by Razor along with the Wall of Vena Wards, along with the Crystal Nova. So GLP so far, they're looking for a slow siege here, but that is not going to happen. They need to get a pick off, perhaps send the Bounty Hunter up around the back of the tree line to maybe pick someone off, but it looks like in the end they're going to give up on it. Now, University of Nottingham might give chase. They're going to back away also. They want to defend their mid.
Now, Kreisenberg here on this gyro, he's a little bit out of position there. If University of Nottingham were a little quicker on the draw, they could have caught him out. Then you would have seen a very quick counter initiation come in. They're going to look to posture up around Roche a little more. And there's just a lot of action. Both teams really giving the other teams a lot of room, a lot of respect, saying, look, we know that you can take a team fight as well as we can. And it might come down to some split pushing. Neither team really has a strong split push hero.
Definitely, yeah. Now, the closest that you could get is Luna, possibly with a Manta. Luna is she herself now. We were talking about how Gyro was having a bit of trouble picking up damage. He's just picked up a Demon Edge, so we're probably going to see him go for the MKB soon. Meanwhile, Luna is only sitting on the same items roughly herself, but without the Demon Edge. But she does have Slardar to back her up.
Or he could be going for a Rapier. Now, if he goes for a Rapier, I think, you know, that'll be probably one of the first Rapiers of this tournament in the first game. I honestly, if you're listening, shouldn't be watching stream. Naughty, get a Rapier. Don't get a Rapier. Do what you want. I don't care. If you do, it's going to be great for the view. And both teams just really taking their time, saying that's fine. I'm going to let you fight.
They're both happy with where they are. They're both just wanting to sit back and farm. At least that has been the case for the last few minutes. We might see a push now in mid, and both teams do have their entire team ready to push us here. We see a smoke by the Radiant team. They might catch out the...
They're going to get caught out. The dust comes out, though. But the counter initiation is too strong. And there's a good, big Naga Song. Now, are they going to set up the Leshrac stun properly after this? They're going to look to go on the Luna and the Slardar, but the Leshrac stun comes out too early. Out comes the CM ult. It's 3 for 3. Everybody's died very quickly. And the last man standing gets the Night Stalker. My goodness, if we had a slow motion action play on that, then I might be able to tell you what went on. But that just went on too quickly. The Naga Siren came in. Crackstone was just a little too down, didn't quite hit. So the Luna managed to get off the Eclipse. The Razor managed to get off his Storm. Huge amounts of damage flying out. Night stay back long enough, get clean up, and now he's facing a full team wipe. Just him on his own with an army of creeps. He's at full health. He can take down this tower probably.
Happy Night Stalker is happy. That fight was just a barrage. 10 sets of abilities. The fight started with a sleep. The University of Nottingham were smoked. They were looking to get a gank on the Bounty Hunter who ran up the stairs. Gyro was sitting up there, was maybe a bit taken by surprise. He didn't get a chance to react. Once they saw the Gyro, they backed away, dusted to try catch the Bounty, and ran straight into the Naga, who they began to attack. Naga used the sleep. By the time the sleep ended, you had 10 players with all of their abilities ready, and the second that sleep ended, you saw every ultimate pop out, every ability unleashed at the same time, BKBs, and at the end of it, the only one standing is the Night Stalker, who is undoubtedly the fattest on the team.
I mean, I'm in the East Midlands myself, where all these guys will be right now. I'm pretty sure I felt a little bit of an earthquake, which was a simultaneous button pressing of 10 people hammering the Archaeon. Like a slight thudding in the distance.
Absolutely lethal. So we are still seeing now, unfortunately, we're seeing University of Nottingham still on the defensive. The lanes aren't very pushed. They've got... Actually, we have seen the tower situation switch over now. We are seeing all three outer towers for the University of Nottingham still up. We might see this little trio here near the Radiant Ancients find the Bounty Hunter. Not the case. They're going to hook up mid.
And looking at the
looking at the
golden XP graphs, though, they tell the completely different story. Difference in XP earned 10k in favour of GLP. And difference in
But
gold earned, another 8k in favour of GLP, and that's the track kills. That's 10 extra kills. Meanwhile, Net comes out on the Razor. Is Naga gonna take out? Huge Leshraxton comes out onto Razor, dies very quickly. Nightstalk with the BKB up, gonna munch on that Crystal Maiden. Is he gonna get away from the Razor and the Slardar though? It's 2-for-1 in favour of GLP. Nightstalk, he turns around, Slardar blinks. Amazing song there from the Naga Siren, just saving. Are they going to be able to turn this around? Leshrac coming out, possibly. Once again, a little bit too early, and that's something they're going to need to work on throughout this tour. They want to go ahead. That was a very good fight there for GLP, taking out 2.
there's a phrase, we got a phrase in my circle, JT, and that's, you got greedy, Martin. We saw Luna and Crystal Maiden chasing a lone little Naga along the riverbed to the south, but where they saw an easy kill 2-on-1, they had the entire GLP squad waiting in the trees to help her out, and it ended up, the fight began with Crystal Maiden and Luna just being absolutely converged upon. Luna pops her BKB and the Eclipse. She deals damage, she stays alive for a couple of seconds, long enough for Slardar and the rest of the team to come in and join, but they were doomed from the beginning. They need to be more careful. Without wards to know where the enemy team is, you can't get greedy and go for those, you know, so-called easy kills. If you see one support alone, they're probably not alone.
As that MKB coming out on the gyro, you called it, no Radiant for now, but MKB, very, very strong damage item for him. Now, if you are University of Nottingham, what is your strategy right now? What are you saying? Are you saying to your team, here's what we're going to do?
Hang back. Don't get killed alone like this Razor in the jungle, who thankfully isn't being chased. Get your farm. Don't go out too far. Try and get wards up. Help your supports wards so they don't get ganged up on, and just farm. They've been playing with this heavy disadvantage in gold and experience so far. They can keep it up. If they just wait longer and longer, the Luna is going to get fed, and the Razor as well. Meanwhile, Nightstalker is nearly peaked. He's picked up a Skull Basher, which could make a difference in a fight, and they just took Roche. That may definitely tip the balance in their favour, particularly with the Aegis.
That's the Aegis on the Gyro as well, who has a lot of damage now. 4 staff coming out, and they're just going to push forward on this Veno. Nightstalker's going to be counter-initiated on. He's getting stun-locked up. He's running away. He's got his BKB up, but he looks like he's going to die. And that was very bad. But now here comes the Gyro, taking huge amounts of damage. Aegis pops. This is going very well. Very well. They've got a lot of damage. That Razor Desolate is just melting the Gyro comp.
Amazing team fight. Amazing team fight for the University of Nottingham. We're talking about getting greedy. Nightstalker sees a lone Venomancer. He, rather than go for the mini stun and slow first, he silences the Venomancer, which means he can scurry away to his tower. In blinks the Slardar, Slithering Crush, armor break, and Nightstalker began the fight on less than half health, and it was just a fantastic response by the University of Nottingham to pick off the fight that just started in their favour. GLP didn't start that fight off the way that they have before. They started off with an over-eager Nightstalker chasing down a Venomancer with his team behind him. Nightstalker's way faster than the rest of his team, and it was just a poor initiation, but brilliant turnaround by the University of Nottingham. They take a 5-for-1 fight. Nightstalker buys back. With the change to the buyback system, he's going to add on that buyback time to his next death, and he can't even farm during this time. Brilliant turnaround for the University of Nottingham, and exactly what they need to do was hang back, stay by their towers, play it safe, and let GLP attack on them under their tower. They can stand their own in a team fight, and we just saw them do it. We saw a 6-for-1 trade. They took the Aegis as well. Fantastic fight, quite a turning point.
Really was, and University of Nottingham's damage against BKB carries is insane. That Desolator, Sanjan Yasha, Razor, as well as Bardar, who's carrying an armlet. He's got a bash that goes. Their damage against quite a BKB heavy lineup as well. You know, against this Nightstalker and the Gyro, rely on popping up that BKB to get a good amount of damage off it. They're just saying, that's fine, we'll kill you through it anyway.
Yeah. Now, I'd have to question the choice to pick up the BKBs on the Radiant side because it's only really letting you avoid the Slithering Crush, which often, if you're going to get Slithering crushed, it's a Blink Crush, which you can't predict. You can't BKB that. And aside from that, you've got the Frostbite and the Gale. So when you've got the Bash on Slardar, which absolutely critical. He got off a bash just as Night Stalker was getting away from the tower range. That made the difference between a kill, was that good lucky bash by Slardar. And Night Stalker, when Night Stalker died, do you know how much gold he gave away? 1,139. That's how stomping he was doing.
And that is another big consideration with this new patch, is that ending a killing streak gives you a lot of gold, and it really facilitates a comeback. And obviously another change of that was the buyback. Now that buyback from the Night Stalker didn't really lead to anything. He bought back and did nothing with it. And you mentioned earlier it's now increased his next respawn time. Also, it gave him that sort of 10, 15 seconds where he couldn't farm. So there was really no point in him buying back, and it was a waste of money. And it's reflected in the net worth charts now. Number one in net worth is the Razor, played by B Civilian there. He's got 15.8k net worth. He is hugely ahead.
Yeah, we're seeing the Luna.
The Deso, he's got the Sanjin Yasha. He's putting out a lot of damage. He can steal all of the damage from Night Stalker, turn around and say, hello, Gyrocopter, goodbye, Gyrocopter.
Mid lane,
you're dead.
Bounty Hunter slinks away. Sorry, dude.
He's
Luna is...
YOLO.
Luna is starting to finally get her farm. She's picked up a Manta style, which is particularly good against the Bounty Hunter. You can get rid of that track, get rid of the net also, get rid of the mini stun, the silence. Brilliant pickup for the Luna, and it adds even more movement speed onto her to let her get away from the Night Stalker with the track. So we are seeing Luna. Now, we have to just worry, depending on what Gyrocopter's next item is. He's got 3.4k gold, could pick up an Eagle Horn towards a Butterfly, could possibly pick up another Demon Edge towards eventually another, maybe a Daedalus. But the main damage here, it's the Razor, given that with the Desolator, the minus armor, you've got stacking that with the amplified damage from the Slardar. It just all goes through BKB, unfortunately. So it is definitely a deciding factor in these fights, is the team composition and the item choices. We're seeing a lot of armor eating, and we're seeing it make a difference now. All of these defensive items prior by GLP aren't paying off for them anymore.
However, they are smoked up in the jungle. 4 of them, they're just waiting to go in. Nagasong comes out. Reisenberg was looking to chase the curry, but no, they're just going to turn straight round on that Luna. The stun comes out, but the BKB's too quick. The Eclipse comes out. Is she going to die? She dies very quickly. The cooldown comes out. Huge amounts of damage. Most of her CM ult goes off. Luna impersonates her down to a bounty on the track. Double kill there for Kreisenberg. He's at full health. He just took down the Slardar and the Luna. And now that was 2 for 4. And they can just... Benno's going to be back. That's a very quick tower. That could be a tier.
That's a very dead Deno.
And that is a very dead Benno. Triple kill there for Kreisenberg. He's now sat on 6. That's Rax. He's sat on 6k gold. It's a full team wipe. And that was a very good team. That was what GLP were looking for. Even though they didn't quite get that stun off, that left track off, they still just turned straight on the loop and said, no, you're not even getting the clip.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely destroyed the Luna. She got her Eclipse off, but it just wasn't enough. Now, we did see just the Naga sleep. The Luna unfortunately got greedy there. She ran off by herself and got completely surrounded. Just activate the song. Everyone's sitting around. No one can come in to help Luna because of the song. And they have a lot of worth sitting in that Luna that the fight just... They were too clumped. The GLP were ready with their BKBs. So a lot of the things that... It's just the fight started off too bad. It was just all in that one song. Slardar couldn't get in to do his thing. Razor was quite far away. No one could get in to help Luna with the song. And as soon as the song ended, she died so fast, it was just a 4v5.
That's a 4-staff now, and that's really going to help with those initiations. She can pop song from back, 4-staff herself forward, catch someone. Now looking at the Gyro here, he's sat on 7.75k. He is flush for cash. He's running over to Secret Shop.
Rapier.
Yeah, that's what he's thinking. He's going there. Is he going to buy it?
He's at the shop.
No,
Eagle Horn. It's a Butterfly.
which is good because he's taking a lot of damage. Razor has just bought a Daedalus. Luna doesn't have an MKB, neither does Spardar. Neither of them have Troop Strike. So Gyro's going to be able to last a lot longer. He's still going to do an absolute boatload of damage. And he's still probably got enough... Let me see, has he got enough reliable gold? He's got enough reliable gold for a buyback as well. So this is a very good situation. They're going to want to... Roshan's not coming up for another 2.5, 3 minutes. We've hit the long end of the timer there, so they're going to look to smoke in around this area, looking to the plane.
That BKB, pardon me, that butterfly is a huge pickup for Gyro. That will allow him to evade, frankly, 100% of the damage that's coming out of University of Nottingham. Vino, Crystal Maiden, absolutely negligible, particularly because Gyro also has a BKB. With that said, it's only on a 4-second charge. But when he's now evading 35% of Slardar, which means less bashes, which means, you know, the Luna will do absolutely nothing. Razor as well, it's a huge pickup. What they need is a sheep, and none of the Radiant supports are anywhere near it. Venomancer is not going to pick one up. Crystal Maiden won't be able to either, because as soon as the fight starts, they die. So, and there's no other good sheep carriers on. Yep.
Talking about the split push earlier, Razor can split. He's got his Desolator now. He's got that Daedalus. He can split push very fast, and we've just seen him take a tower out. But however, University of Nottingham have just TP'd everyone back to base.
That's good. That gives University of Nottingham time to split up, push out. They've got some good wards around the map. They've got one up at the top ward, and they've got one in their jungle. They need a bit more warding so they can, again, it's just a case of they need to farm. In particular, Luna needs, I mean, I wouldn't say BKB. It's not an ideal pickup on her. She might have to get one, or perhaps the Slardar could get an MKB to go through that butterfly. But that butterfly is going to cause a lot of problems for the University of Nottingham, and they don't have any answers for it anytime soon. There's no sheep stick and there's no MKBs.
Now Luna really does have to be careful here. She's out of position. Her TP's on cooldown. She's going to get at, luckily she wasn't seen there by GLP. That could have been very dangerous for her. But they've seen her go up there now, but they don't know. They know that the entire team's there. Are they going to look to fight this? They're going to stand back here, GLP. Wait for
They're waiting for a smoke. There we go.
The smoke. Are we going to see another smoke and song initiation in? Here we go. Rolling in. Out comes the song from the Naga Siren. They're going to position themselves up around. Who are they looking? They're aiming straight for the Luna once again. Are they going to get the stun off? The BKB comes out. The Eclipse comes out. The Shrek dies instantly, but a huge amount of damage from Kreisenberg. He gets a double kill, taking down Bear Dealer very quickly. That's a double kill for Dimes as well. Dimesy. And there's the full team wipe. And that was a very well executed fight. Even with the stun missing after the song, they've just got too much damage on that Gyrocopter now. He can position himself in, get the cooldown off. That's a team wipe. The University of Nottingham down for 30 seconds. That's another cracks problem.
Absolutely crushed.
And the GG is called by University of Nottingham. GLP take this one.
There we go, Colin. And to be frank, I don't disagree with that. University of Nottingham are a racks down. They've got an unstoppable Gyrocopter. The entire team of GLP came out of that on full health, with the exception of the Leshrac, which is all that the University of Nottingham were able to take out before that fight. The Naga Sleep setup separated Luna entirely, and then you've got the Flak Cannon with a pumped up Gyro, just destroyed them, unfortunately. And it's not something that they're going to be able to come back with. As I said, no answer for that Gyro anytime soon. So that looks like it is game.
That is game. GLP taking that game very strongly. Naga Siren a contender there for the Melk Award. She's got no kills to her name, 13 assists and 4 deaths. And yet her team still won. A very strong game from them.
No sheep carrier.
Carrier. Those of you in on the, thank you very much again. My name's been JT. Joining me, good friend here, Cyclone Irishman, reign this. Not of Belgium this time. I'm pretty sure it's now the side of Europe. We're going to be
Good
back.
game.
We're going to be back for casting. Are you casting any games tomorrow?
Oh, tomorrow I'm working, dude, but if we're going on Fridays, should make Friday a regular. Could be casting as well on Wednesday.
Excellent. Well, make sure to check out the rest of the UKGL TV streams on TV. Watching UKGL TV 2, they got all 11 because we have up to 11 matches at a time. This has been the UK University Dota League round 1 of the stages. We're going to be going on for this all the way through to November, bringing the best of UK University Dota, casted by a bunch of really enthusiastic casters. Check out all of their streams. Check out a load of games. Check out the VM. There's a ton of Dota to be watched, and I'm told that the finals will be casted by the one and only Pyrian Flax. Really excited about that. And yeah, thank you very much for tuning in. Stick around, have a look at the other streams, have a look at the other VODs, pick out some of your favourite teams, pick out some teams to follow as well. And if you want more information on the league, you can always visit the website at ukgl.org. Until then, I've been JT and joined by Captain Duke. It's good. Sorry, joined by Cyclone Duke. Oh my goodness, I got your name wrong. I fail. Joined by Cyclone Duke. Have a good evening.
And as always, have an exquisite day.